So he hadn't actually been washing his clothes for like 7 months.
What are we calling this? Is this a podcast?
Red. It talks Clash.
Welcome, everyone. This is Reddit Talks Clash. Today, I think the buzz around the whole Clash community is just Town Hall 17 that we know is coming sometime soon-ish. So I think we're going to talk a little bit all about that. We're going to go over what we learned in Stuart's AMA last week. And then, we'll hit up kind of what we're hoping to get out of the coming year Clash. So, Sam and Liam, how you boys doing?
Good.
Great. Yeah, grand. And you?
Yeah, no, good. Are you guys tired of the lava loon yet?
It's a bit of fun, isn't it? But yeah, it can end. It can end soon.
Yeah, I made the switch back to real troops a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'm using real armies again because it's just like it's funny the story bases, but like it's not good practice. It's not good practice when they take it away from us.
Yeah, I just had another 100% tie again in war, so that's getting kind of annoying now.
Oh well, I've literally I don't know the last time my clan didn't get a perfect war. It was months ago now. Like it's not even because of lava loon. It's just because the game is shitting easy. It's like lava loon's just a side problem at this point. The last time we failed to get a perfect war was exactly 4 months ago.
Yeah, our last loss was 100 days ago, and it was by 1 star.
Yeah, our last loss was the same time we didn't get a perfect war.
Wait, how often do you do wars, Sam?
How often do we do wars?
Yeah.
Back to back?
Yeah,
Apart from Clan War League?
So 4 months ago. Jesus.
That was our last.
Oh, what
last
size
loss,
wars
and
do you do?
It varies, but they're mostly between 30 and 40.
Alright.
Actually, most of the recent ones has been 40 and 45. We even got a 50 for 50 at one point.
I know. I still want to see what wars are going to be like after the Druid nerf, because we went kind of straight into the event, like after CWL.
True.
So like in CWL, it wasn't like perfect wars, but it rarely is anyway. At least in champs. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like we still haven't really seen what war is going to be like after the Druid nerf, and I'm hoping it's not going to be all perfect wars. But I don't know. We gotta wait through another CWL to see.
Indeed.
All right, Stuart did an AMA fairly recently. Oh, but actually, before we do that, everyone listening here, we're trying something new. Normally, we have questions. We will take questions at the end, and we just kind of like scan chat, and it sucks. So instead, what Liam and Hawkeye hooked up and did is you type question, like the question mark and then the word question. Man, we should change that.
But we can change it. It's a setting, don't worry.
Yeah. But yeah, you type question. That's like the command for the bot. It doesn't pop up the little bot menu, but then you type a question. The bot will like check mark it, react to show that it registered, and then that puts it on a little spreadsheet for us. So if you have a question that you want us to talk about, a lot of times we miss it. But now, if you just do the cool little command, it shows up on a spreadsheet with your name, and we can circle back to it at the end a lot easier. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask them in the chat. Just start it off with question, no space. Anyway, all right, Stuart did an AMA, and funny enough, he got banned like immediately by Reddit too. And eventually got that sorted out, but answered the rest of it through a new account. And it turns out what happened, since I don't know if everyone knows this, but Reddit blamed it on a contractor. And they said it was like somebody, just a contractor, saw the message. It mentioned capital, so it must like any combination of like capital attack, whatever, probably, red flags a comment. Somebody didn't really bother to look at it too much, removed the comment for harassment, and then that triggered like his whole account getting banned. And it took a couple hours to clear up, but yeah, I don't know. It shouldn't happen again. We got it sorted out. We have a contact guy inside of Reddit who works on AMAs to help prevent this junk from happening. But anyway,
apart from that, it was great.
So I kind of broke down at least what I think are like the highlights of it, because like any kind of typical Supercell Q&A, there's a whole lot of like we can't really tell you yet.
Yep.
I did pull out a lot of the stuff that I think is relevant that we can talk to. Starting out, we did get a little more Town Hall 17 info. There will be a new hero. It pretty much sounds like. I don't know. Everyone's kind of reacting like it's 100% confirmed, and it probably is, but like all the language was still pretty like if and probably and likely, and so I don't think anything's 100% confirmed out of here, but as close as we're ever gonna get. But yeah, we get a new hero likely. They said we're probably still gonna be able to just use 4 at a time. So whatever the 5th one is, or 5th and 6th, and who knows, however many down the road. Sounds like there's going to be some kind of hero hut system, maybe, or or at least like you still bring 4 to battle instead of all of them, so you can have 1 down and it won't really impact you.
Yeah, and because to be fair, 5 heroes, like that was going to be a bit much, wasn't it? If you had them all at the same time, especially with balancing. I mean, heroes have caused so many balancing problems recently. A 5th one, poof, that would be a sticky situation.
I wasn't a fan of like automatic abilities when they first introduced that, because I thought it kind of dumbed it down a little too much. And like, hey, if your hero dies without using the ability, that's on you as for being a poor player. But yeah, like I don't know, the longer the game goes on, man, like the more I like that looking back. And
oh yeah,
and just just adding into the mix like a different hero with a obviously different ability and equipment, stuff coming. You probably need the auto ability.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just too much to keep track of. With 4 heroes.
Yeah,
and if
like it's just an extra skin generator at this point.
So what kind of hero would you guys actually want to see? Like, what do you have any thoughts on what is missing from our current crop of heroes? Because, yeah,
we have the defense targeting hero. We have a tank, a ranged one. The flying like support one.
Yeah.
I don't know, like what's another niche like out of other game, like what's another like big character type? I can't really think. I don't play games like that. There's like a resource targeting hero is kind of an option.
Wouldn't that just be rubbish?
I mean, like for farming.
Yeah, but who wants a hero just for farming? Like that is dead. Because realistically, that just leaves, for example, definitely Town Hall 16s would never use that hero if it was purely just good for resource targeting, and no one would really use it in wars either, so it'd just be a bit weird.
If you're farming, you'd probably use it then, because then like while you're farming, your heroes are down. You'd use that hero then, right? So it'd be good for when your other heroes are down then.
Oh, we need to farm to upgrade the farming hero.
Hey, well, then it's good, yeah.
Yeah, like the only thing I would say that might make it useful in like war and stuff is like a resource targeting hero would end up being a Town Hall targeting hero.
Yeah,
true.
Which is like, I don't know, like that. It does feel really like such a small niche role to where like I don't know, like some people will like suicide their RC and take out a corner, and that still feels like a waste to me. I don't know, like there's probably a niche for it if it's probably something else, but who knows.
Indeed.
Like, are you guys happy with introducing a 5th hero? Maybe even like a ton more down the line. Who knows?
I'm generally happy because it's more content, it's more fun. I agree that using more than 4 would be a bit excessive, and I think it would be awful for balancing and also just too much to keep track of. But yeah, I like new things.
I think it depends on how many levels it's gonna have. Like, is it gonna be another like 95 levels? Because then I'd probably be against it.
God,
But
yeah, I know.
if they start out at 0, like for the RC, then yeah, I'd be okay with it.
What is the max RC right now? 45.
45, yeah.
Yeah, so
I know that.
Like we can get 30 levels of a new one, but just it's too many levels overall. It's so many. Like, but plus
it's a lot.
Yeah,
Especially when you'll be upgrading the other 4 heroes as well.
I know. It's like you have to assume we're getting, like 5 levels of each of the existing ones at least. So 20 hero
Yeah,
levels there.
definitely.
20 long, expensive ones, plus however many of a new one. But I know, like, people act like it's some huge concession to a lot, like, that we're still only using 4, and you can freely upgrade a 5th. But I don't know, like, I don't think it's gonna make that big of a deal.
Especially because, I mean, when I'm trying to upgrade heroes, if I'm seriously farming, I'm upgrading to at least 2 or 3 at the same time. So, like, I don't know.
And it's
I very rarely just upgrade 1.
like that concession is only going to affect Town Hall, like whatever Town Hall the hero is introduced at, because
Yeah.
if you're only allowed to take 4, unless they introduce it very early on and say you're still allowed to take, 3, 4 Town Hall 11s or whatever, it's not going to matter to most anyone. So it doesn't really address the massive problem that, like, heroes take forever, playing without them sucks. And it's a huge reason people walk away from the game. So it doesn't really address that.
Agreed.
What Town Hall do you think it would come in?
Would what come in, sorry?
A new hero.
Yeah, new hero. Do you think, like, it would be a 17 only, or they would kind of, like, backdate it and hit that every other Town Hall pattern up for 15 or 16 or what?
I mean, my guess would have been 17 only, but but in fairness, considering we haven't had a new hero since Town Hall 13, that's a long gap without a hero.
I'd say 15 probably.
So
then,
maybe
like,
15.
yeah.
If they do that, I would hope they'd give well, but how do they do that realistically? Yeah, I was gonna say I'd hope they'd give say Town Hall 16 some levels, but they wouldn't, because obviously you can just rush and whatever.
Yeah, I'd guess 15. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I'm like, I can see it being for 16s too. Like, putting it all the way back at 15, like, and then that would also mean, like, giving us, who are going to be, like, all 3 of us will be 17s day 1, I assume, right? Yeah, it is like just giving Town Hall 17s 3 Town Halls worth of hero upgrades to do.
Crap to upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah.
that would really kind of take the wind out of the sails of that one.
It's a way to monetize the hero books, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they're like people are focusing too much on buying ore. We gotta remind them they also need hero books. All right. He also teased barracks and army changes that would come in. He also said barracks change probably in February and an army change probably later in April.
That's weird.
That also indicates an update schedule.
That does.
February and April, I believe, were the same update months that we got that we had this year. So at least they're kind of like planning far ahead and seeing all that stuff out. But the stuff he talked about was saving army comps that included, pet and equipment combinations, like, tied to those specific comps, which is really nice.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Yeah, like, I have so many times I'd, like, been switching armies and then see a fireball go off when I did not intend one.
Yeah.
Like, in the middle of a base, just flying off to the side. But saving those changes with the quick train armies would be really nice.
Absolutely agreed. The last one being that all arch towers and cannons will be merged eventually, which I guess makes sense, but it's an interesting one.
Yeah, like, they've kind of been talking about that for a while. It's come up a few times, where I think the move is, like, instead of continuing to grow and expand and make bigger bases, kind of like condensing it back down. Like, so we'll have more merged defenses to deal with it. You don't have to pick apart what's what. It simplifies the bases in a way, and also, gets back. It still builds up something defensively.
The only thing I'd say that's weird about it is that, like, the ricochet cannons and the arch towers, even called what are the merged arch towers called? I can't remember. Anyway,
Yeah, multi,
right? Yeah. They're quite different to their normal counterparts. I mean, for example, ricochet cannons can absolutely f you if you're not careful. I mean, they do a ton of damage, and it is quite different to just coming up against a cannon, because In my mind, cannons and arch towers are one of the more insignificant defenses. If you come up against them, you just gotta just destroy them, right? That you don't need a plan for them, like a single Inferno Tower or a Monolith, for example, or a scatter shot or whatever. But with ricochet cannons and the multi-arch towers, you do need to think a bit more because they do a lot of damage. So it's just weird removing that class of defense, which is just like there, but it's fine. Suddenly almost all the defenses are ones which you need to actually worry about and maybe have a plan for.
Yeah, I mean, they have more HP as well, so it takes more time to get them down. So
Mm.
I've noticed that quite a few times.
I don't know, like it's a balancing act too, because we don't know what they're going to introduce with it. I don't know, like it sounds like they want to keep the triple rate on the higher end, so I wouldn't imagine it being too oppressively hard to defeat.
But now imagine a base full of merged cannons and archer towers.
I
It's
mean, like we'll
harder.
adapt.
Yeah.
Just E-drag spam it all. I'm sure
Yeah.
those will get a level. All right. Equipment. All right. There's a couple cool pieces of news about equipment. Old equipment is probably going to start returning through metal events, and maybe even in the league metal shop to spend your CW well medals on. That's awesome. That's great. I think
Yeah.
buying, like, especially newer players and players who aren't like long-term, daily, dedicated, hitting every event players, like forcing them to get those through gems was like, oh, I don't know. I always hated that, but
I hated it too.
if they are introducing other ways to get those without necessarily, burning gems or feeling the pressure to spend, I think that's great.
It was just such a weird concept to be just actively punishing new players because what are they meant to do? Just play the game earlier, I always thought it was incredibly strange.
The counter argument was like you get like 20,000 free gems from achievements, and like over time, just
Yeah.
obstacles. Not even if you're worrying about using your raid medals to convert those to gems, like you get a lot of free gems essentially. So over time, you have enough, but like that's also not fun, and yeah, it's like I don't know, I'm glad they're finding a way to fix it. Probably the bigger equipment news though is the max level is not changing, at least with the launch of Town Hall 17. The exact quote: "We're not raising the equipment max level when Town Hall 17 launches." So I know a lot of people are focusing on that when Town Hall 17 launches part.
What, as if it could have been an if?
Yeah, like it. I don't. I'm only playing words lawyer, and trying to decipher some hidden meaning, like because like technically all he said was it's not raising on launch, and they could raise it the next day, and then that his statement won't have been a lie. But like I kind of take it as like I kind of take it as the intent isn't to raise the max level, like probably for most of Town Hall 17. It's a card they can play if they need to for balance, or or their wallets are getting light. For the most part, yeah, we're not going to see new equipment levels, at least, which is great
And
cool,
good.
like, people do need to catch up.
Yeah. Especially when we get quite a lot of new equipment.
I buy ore. Like I don't buy shiny at all, and like I've bought a couple of the glowies, like the $600 for sale ones, and I do buy starry, and I still haven't maxed everything. Like so it's so weird to me thinking about how like I could have actively been spending money on this and still not have it maxed by the time the next town hall comes.
I didn't really think about that my equipment will not be maxed for Town Hall 17, assuming it is soon, by the end of the year. I mean, yeah, and that's kind of crazy that I just won't be maxed.
We were kind of talking about this like a year ago, like we're gonna have to redefine kind of like what max is. I used to always get really anal about it and say like people would say I'm max except for my heroes. Like, well, you're not a max.
Oh no, you're not
like,
maxed.
yeah, you're not maxed.
No,
or
it's
I'm
that
like I'm
different.
maxed except for my walls, like which is a little more whatever. Like I don't know, but yeah, like if people say, oh, I'm totally maxed now, like I don't know, I'm not saying like what about your equipment, because like no one has max equipment. A handful of people do, but
Unless you only bought equipment once all the others were maxed.
Yeah, I always forget you don't have any epic equipment. And
No, I
yeah.
do now
My
actually,
gosh.
but all the
Yeah.
ones I have are basically
Yeah.
max because I buy them one at a time, and I don't buy a new one until all the others are maxed.
That is mental.
Yeah, that's one hell of an asterisk to say Liam's 100% maxed, like, but you don't have all the stuff.
I will be 100%
Yeah.
max, and with all the equipment that I have, that counts as
But
max.
that doesn't count.
Yeah.
That's like just not upgrading like your barracks and not having a troop and going, oh well, I'm maxed apart from this troop which I don't have. Like
But that's
what?
different because you can upgrade barracks with resources, whereas to get epic equipment, you need to either get it from the event or from gems. So
Well,
it's not exactly the same thing.
but but why is that the definition you're going off? Things
And
you have to spend
you can
resources
easily
on.
farm resources. You can't easily farm ore. I mean, that's also the limiting factor here.
Yeah, but this isn't about ore. This is about not even having the equipment.
Look, I don't care what you say, Sam. I'll be maxed when I have all my equipment maxed that I have.
Absolutely not allowing this.
It's best not to argue with Liam. You just say, "Okay, buddy,"
Yeah.
and then
You're good.
and we
Okay,
move on.
pal. In your own world.
Like the final big piece of equipment news, at least to me, that I pulled out of it is, and I'm so excited to finally be able to talk about it at least a little, is the torch.
Yay.
So the full quote, not currently on the equipment roadmap. It had cool ideas, so let's see if it comes back or any of those ideas find their way into another equipment. So finally, everyone can shut up about the torch.
My God, that got leaked to oblivion as well.
Yeah. So and now I'm gonna cue everyone in chat giving stupid, uninformed guesses, pretending it's gonna be fact, with what happened with the torch, why it's not there. None of y'all know, and I don't know. Like I wish I could talk more about the torch because it was really cool, but it's not coming. They might cannibalize it, make it other stuff, whatever. We can all stop worrying and wondering about the torch.
Is that it for equipment?
Yeah, that was it for equipment. All right, now the last little category I kind of listed stuff out in was just general future plans. Yeah, they're gonna change up the ranked playing experience. It sounds like the quote was, "Current Legend setup isn't ideal either for those caring about top ranked play, nor those just looking to farm who end up there accidentally." So
I mean, an opt out of Legends would be a wonderful, wonderful button.
oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, they're just like, I think they're just talking about like, instead of it just being like, hey, you just continue to climb and then all of a sudden you're in Legends, and it really, the only real change in Legends is that it starts to limit your hits, and that's it. So there was a lot of speculation on whether they're going to do some trophy road kind of thing, similar to Clash Royale, where it's like a separate track that you opt into, like more like a separate game mode that's competitive play that you just can continue to climb there without affecting like the day-to-day stuff, or there's a lot of different ways they could take it.
I think it's mostly fine as it is now. I didn't think they. I think maybe they could implement hard mode into Legends. I would support that, but having a separate game mode would be, or like track, like you said, would be a little bit weird. But yeah, I'm flexible.
I like the way Legends is, not to say it can be improved, but like it accomplishes two things right now. It kind of satisfies like the little bit of competitive itch. Not that I'm pushing to the top of Legends, but I do like being above friends of mine. At least
Yeah.
or, there's like little Legends challenges, some friends of ours and different clans do, and that stuff is fun. So I get my competitive pushing itch scratched in Legends there, and it satisfies like my farming needs, because eight hits a day to loot there, it's perfectly fine to keep all your builders busy. So I don't want to like have to double up farming efforts and do competitive stuff on two separate tracks. So there's probably a lot that would have to change for me to get on board with that. But there's ways to do it. And then also the benefit, I think, of doing it separately too is you could probably more easily keep event troops out of it. Like if you wanted to do like the hard mode route, you could do that. I mean, there's benefits to both.
Agreed.
I actually think like introducing hard mode, but only after a certain trophy threshold. Like that would be
But then
Interesting.
why isn't that trophy threshold just legends? I mean, yeah, I think it'd be weird having two kind of distinct leagues or difficulty within legends would just be weird.
You'd have to draw that line kind of arbitrarily somewhere. Like I think we talked about it in episode 2 ago too, when we're saying like maybe like 5,500 is like the number I see tossed out probably most often. Where I don't know, like I don't think that's a great solution. It is what it is, but
This random point, it gets harder because then it makes it weird because are the trophies you get in different points of legends comparable? Like is someone at 5,600 trophies, 200 trophies better than someone at 5,400, or are they actually just better? It's just because they're on a different difficulty. It's just weird. It's just a weird thing to do within the same league.
Or just make all of Legends like hard mode.
Yeah.
Then it makes.
Well, that's what I do. I'd make
Yeah,
all
I know.
Legends hard mode if
Yeah.
I was dictator of Supercell.
Benevolent dictator.
yeah, I guess speaking of hard mode too, like the next bit is some hard mode info that Stuart dropped. There's the potential for hard mode, showing up in other areas and changes to what hard mode really is. So the quote, in the long term, we'd like to give players more control over the difficulty of their experience. Lots of different kinds of folk want to have more fun in class. For some that's more wackiness, for others it's more competitiveness. How we do that and make it work is great for all. We're not 100% on, but there's ideas kicking around. So they're at least looking into, hey, like letting you kind of choose what path you want to go on. Like, do you want to do, if you want to steer more into hard mode and competitiveness, they want to make that happen. If you want to have goofy fun with the event troops and easily triple, way overpowered, they kind of want to give you the ability to do that as well. It doesn't sound like they have a solid idea on how they're going to please everyone, but, like, I'm sure that's an easy task to accomplish.
And then another thing was mentioned was that there'll be no capital or builder base content coming anytime soon, quote, this year, which is that surprising?
No. Also, like, this is the other, like, big, like, words lawyers fighting over too, because Stuart said no, yeah, like there's none of this stuff coming this year, and then a lot of people are like, there's only 2 more months left in the year.
January update.
So everything that I've seen Stuart talk about before, like he can get a little cheeky and sly, like 2 years ago during the Town Hall 14 World Championship too. Remember he wore that shirt that had like basically just said 15 and the date of when they were gonna launch Town Hall 15.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past him to be dropping hints and carefully choosing his words like that. But also, like, I don't see the benefit of like teasing. No, there's no new content, and then surprise everyone, Builder Hall 11, dropping in
and also
soon.
There's no indication they really care. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say, like, there are people who really do care about builder base there, and like we see.
Yeah, but
that's a minority.
I know, like at Asher, the builder base YouTuber, the one of them. I know he's had some really cool long conversations I've read with one of the devs about improving builder base and what can be done to save it or etc. And like there are people who really do care. It's just clearly for whatever reason they can't prioritize it. It's probably because it's not a huge moneymaker.
And that is because most people don't care about it really. I mean, I never play builder base except for maybe clan games. I mean that's it. I mean, I do have it maxed, which I guess indicates a bit more care than some people have. And to be fair, occasionally I go through phases of liking it, but it's mainly just when I'm not doing much in my life. I'm just bored. So, yeah. Apart from that, I just don't play it.
For me, it's just clan games and gems.
Yeah, like I want more capital stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
I really don't care about capital.
Like,
it's just a nuisance that I have to do on the weekend.
I know, like it. I say that, but also I haven't done a full capital attack in 8 months. Like it's all just like
Miners.
dropping miners, force quitting. So like doing that on a new district, I don't think really changes my relationship with Clan Capital. But like there's a part of me that
Yeah.
wants, like I can see changes to Capital getting me reinvested and enjoying it more. Maybe I'll say like that's what I want. I want a fundamental rework of Clan Capital like we got for Builder Base, but one that's actually good.
I mean, do you even know what a rework would look like? What do they do to make people care?
Like, so this is my the rant I always go on where they should steal more stuff from Boom Beach. Like operations in Boom Beach, they're I don't want to call it war equivalent because it's not really like that. It is more like the whole clan takes down, like signs up for an operation. They take 2 days, and it's just a handful of massive bases. It's just imagine if instead of Clan Capital just running through 10 clans, like if it was you got matched with one clan and it literally took the whole clan to get through that, just punishingly huge bases that are designed in a way to make you actually think about what you're doing, and you have to like brute force through it.
In that scenario, there's a concept of failing, isn't there? Because you
Yeah.
might not defeat the whole base, or only defeat a 7%. Whereas with Clan Capital, like you're gonna unless you just run out of attacks, which obviously you do eventually, you're gonna just beat every clan. I mean, there's no competitiveness to it. Arguably, there's no point even facing other clans. I mean, you're like just attack some default bases or something. Like what?
I know,
Why are you attacking other clans? We're not fighting them.
Capitals.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Huh?
There is nothing at stake in Clan Capital. It's just
Literally.
slightly less resources. Like there's no actual stakes.
That's it.
That's a great point. That's never occurred to me.
Thank you. I'll treasure these enlightened moments that I occasionally have.
I know. It's pretty rare that you get one over on me.
It's pretty rare these days.
All right. Changing up the way progression works long term. So he said, quote, "Our long-term aim is to have more of our players at the last town hall and have that as a year-long season/end game. That will mean drastically speeding up the time for players from starting to reach the last town hall. It does mean, though, with more of our players at the last town hall, that we need to give them more stuff to do. That's a pretty complicated problem to solve, and there's a lot of interdependent things that we need to do in steps across several years to come." So that
is crazy.
That sounds like a huge fundamental change in the game to me that it's going to take a while to implement. So to me, what that reads as is like kind of shifting it from a long-term progression strategy game to more of like a live service game where, you join, you do some basic stuff, and then you're in the pool equal with everyone else, and you just get new, like, I don't know if DLC is the right word, but yeah, just a new seasonal content constantly for you to, spend on and buy on, and I don't know, it's a massive change in how the game works.
It's nuts if they do it like that, because think about like you said, the effort that it would require, because currently it takes years to get to Town 16. If you do it if you don't rush, it takes years. I mean, how do you fundamentally change that? What are they aiming for? Do they want people to get maxed within get to the highest town hall within 6 months, a year? Like, what is the time frame they're looking at?
I don't think they could ever really get there to convert to like just a straight up live service game. I don't see that happening. I don't see any of us putting up with it and staying through to it. Maybe that's
what
just...
if they do it slowly, like bit by bit, and then we don't notice it because it's so slowly, and then after a while it just becomes more and more live service.
Just constant time reductions and shit?
Yeah. Like if they do it slowly, you get used to it, and then you don't notice the whole change, and then 2 years later, what do you know? It's a live service game.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think there are things they can borrow from that model and implement more successfully. Like maybe instead of a monthly gold passes, we get quarterly stuff, and and that comes with bigger perks, and I don't know. Like there's a lot of ways to take it, but also at the same time, dude, like how much longer do you think they can continue on with the same model of like just plopping a new town hall down at the end and shortening.
Well, they've done it for
Yeah, I know.
they've done it for 12 years now.
12 years.
Yeah, like they're accelerating it too. Like how meaningless
Yeah.
and useful are the first 7 town halls.
Oh, completely.
Yeah, you can max Town Hall 7 in a month and a half, 2 months, and in the long run, Town Hall 1 to 7 is like just a tutorial anyway.
Hmm. They have continually stated this, so they kind of want the time to get max to remain constant, right? When they add new town halls. I mean, if they keep doing that, you're right. The first town halls are going to be rapid. I mean, they've got to be, which is weird because then it's not really an experience playing at those town hall levels. They're a stopgap. They're not. They're not actually a thing. You might not ever learn a town hall 7 meta. You'll just do some farming and just blast through it.
It'll never happen to just be a full live service game, but like
No.
they can't keep going the way they're going either. Like they gotta find some way to at least bridge that gap into making this a game that they always say they want their games to last forever, be remembered forever.
It is
So,
odd. I just can't imagine Clash
yeah.
ending, but we'll
just
see.
like hitting a new town hall every other day for the first 11 town halls, when the max is town hall 22. Like, I don't know. That's it just I don't see how that's gonna work either. Like they need to do like a level squish, hero level squish, town hall level squish. Just reset, bring everything down, condense the stuff that doesn't need to be separate anymore, streamline it all, get people up to the high level. Having everyone be more at max solves so many problems too. Like it's much easier to balance a game when there's really like not as many different levels of people playing. One of the biggest complaints with esports too is like you can't pick up the game and get into it because you're 3 years away from being competitive. And if you can get to max faster, that solves that problem for you.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just such a shift that I just can't see how they do it well, but we'll see.
All right, so that wraps up our little AMA recap.
Yeah.
I asked you guys what you most want from Clash in 2025, and we don't normally do the whole like top 5 list kind of thing, but I figure I'll steal that from some other great podcasts who use that format a lot. C2J, P&T. So if we're gonna steal stuff, we'll steal some good stuff. Not that we already didn't steal like shout outs and stuff, but those are good podcasts. You guys should go check them out. Anyway, Liam, your number 5 thing you most want for Clash next year.
So similar to how we have like special abilities or equipment now for heroes, kind of like a special ability for troops as well, where you could basically have, I don't know if you want to make it integrated into the equipment's part, but yeah, just basically troops have the special abilities.
Would that be abilities you're expected to like manually interact with? Because that sounds actually impossible.
I mean, I like the idea of having it automatic, so you don't have to worry about it. But I mean, it would mostly only work if you like have an army made up of just like one troop.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine having to individually control 300 barbarians or something?
No, that'd be hell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That is wild.
I know. Yeah, they just made just all those little ability buttons just made me giggle. Sorry. My number 5, I said they got to do something with ore. Like we got to get it faster. We got to get it in new places. It sounds like equipment's slowing down. But yeah, like you got to give people a chance to catch up and use the stuff. And like we've always been able to max at each level, and I think that needs to stay true with ore and equipment as well. And if we're sitting on max ore for a while, I don't really care. All right, Sam.
Mine, this isn't a huge priority for me, Shawai's 5th, and to be fair, it's been talked about to death for years and years and years since time began. But it's a clan alliance system, or just some way to integrate having multiple clans more easily, because it's just such a faff, especially when I have to move around clans a fair bit. And obviously a lot of stuff is done through Discord, right? So that can be managed through there. But just in game, there's no nice way to deal with having a system of multiple clans. So yeah, some way to improve that whole experience would be lovely.
Yeah, that's needed for sure. Spencer is not here, but he did leave us a top 5 list. First time ever he's done like homework and made a list when I asked him to. So way to go, Spencer. His number 5 was he wants Builder Hall 11, and for that to come with a stage 3. Liam, what's your number 4?
It's troop evolution mutations. So like kind of like the druid, where after a certain while they transform in a different troop. That'd be kind of cool. Or like have a random troop where they become like start off as a barbarian, then become an archer, then a giant or something.
What the? What? I cannot be serious.
There was like Darian talked about a concept they had forever ago, like some kind of blob monster. Do you remember this? Where he said it was like the more damage you do, the more it would grow, and he said it was just so insanely over. I think it was like
that was the original version for the golem, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Or I want to say it was back around instead of might have been a Yeti thing. I don't know, but yeah, where he said it was just like it would roll around doing damage to buildings and growing. And it just got exponentially stronger way too fast, and they couldn't find a way to balance it. But more like changing troops would be kind of cool as long as it's not like a time mechanic. I get.
As long as it's not mental. I mean, like a giant just randomly turning into a golem that randomly then turns into a E-drag. I mean, how do you even plan around that?
New troop, the shapeshifter.
Yeah.
It's just like a randomizer of what's coming out of the clan castle when you defend. That would be. All right, my number 4, I just want better communication, and not just like talking to us more, but like talking to us in a better way. Give us the reasoning and stuff. Like there was so much outrage after the all the root rider nerfs and the equipment nerfs and buffs. Yeah, I think they could have handled that a lot better by just giving more information on why the timing, why everything specifically. Just expand on that. If you're open and honest with people, I think they'll understand it. All right, Sam, number 4.
My number 4 was, I mean, we've already talked about this now, because it was in the MA, but to introduce new ways to get epic equipment, basically just to avoid punishing players who miss events. Not going to deep this, we already talked about it, but it's mental. It is mental at the moment. So yeah that needs to change.
Yep, Spencer wants Capital Hall 11. This is number 4.
Spencer, what's yours?
All right, Liam, number 3.
A new Giga weapon, so like, yeah, I guess new artillery on the town hall would be nice.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm looking forward to that change too. It's been the Inferno far too long. My number 3, Sam mentioned it already. But yeah, just so we gotta make moving clans around easier, especially if there's not new capital content. Because like I move so many counts every week, just dumping gold. It's like we gotta
same.
Like whether that's an alliance system or a whitelist or whatever, man. Just make it easier for me to go, leave, and come back. Sam, number 3.
Mine's a kind of weird one. Mine's to change walls, which could be really difficult. I don't know exactly how they do this, but to make a reason for walls to exist, and more specifically, make a reason for their hit points to exist. Because currently, like, there's actually not much point upgrading your walls. I mean, you obviously do it because it's a loot dump and it looks cool, but currently we've got a ridiculous amount of troops that just avoid walls. I mean, obviously anything flying, but just you got Hog Riders, you got the RC, you've got so many troops that basically walls are not bothered by, and then you got semi-siege machines that just get rid of walls. You've got super wall breakers, which makes the health of the walls irrelevant. The hit points of the walls are irrelevant. I mean, there's just no point walls having hit points at the moment, and I feel that there's a lot of things that they could do. They just need to make it a point. They need to give them a purpose again.
Yeah, there's so many things that just ignore walls. It's crazy. All right, Spencer's number 3, a new super troop. I'm on board with that. It's been like a year and a half. It's been a long time. The Super Hog.
Gosh, has it?
Super Hog was June 2023, so it's time.
Too long.
Good God, I hadn't even realized.
Yeah. All right, Liam, number 2.
Time flies.
Laser tower or a Tesla mortar? Some kind of combination of that.
What would a laser tower be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like, I don't know. So it shoots out multiple lasers at once, but like that just becomes an infinite.
Is that not an infinite tower?
Yeah, no, I know. Anyways, moving on. Quick.
Stealing from Boom Beach, there's a lot of laser. There's a laser defense and a laser troop that like shoots giant laser beam like through buildings. So it would be kind of like Super Archer Arrow, but even longer. All right, my number 2 was a super troop because it's time.
Yep.
Sam.
My number two was esports improvements. Just make it more accessible and easy to follow. No one can follow anything but the World Championships at the moment, and even then, has a bit of a struggle to find results. Like, there's no aesthetically pleasing way to really find stuff. So just make people care. Make it easy to care because it's so hard to care at the moment.
Yeah. Woo had a lot of good ideas on the Clash of Clans podcast too. Their most recent one. If you guys want to listen to that episode, they went more into like how to fix esports and what Supercell can be doing to support it better. And that was a good one. My Spencer's number two is a fifth hero. We talked about that a lot. All right, number one stuff, Liam. The number one thing you want.
New hero.
A new hero.
Levels.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It better be good. Like, if it's just, there's so much potential for a hero just to feel like a cash grab. Like, give us way too many levels. Give us a ton of equipment to buy or for right off the bat. You know, like, there's so many ways for it to go wrong. Like, I really hope they get it right.
And by new hero levels, what I really mean is API improvements, obviously.
Or like Ninja Magic.
Yeah, I didn't even need to look to know Ninja is in the chat right now whining.
At this point, I want API improvements just so these guys can stop whining about it. But also, like, this kind of sucks. Is like I've used Clash Ninja religiously for a long time. Until the Apprentice Builder, because it's so freaking annoying having to go log the Apprentice Builder stuff. So I think Clash Ninja really needs some API help so we can automatically update our build time. My number one is I want the hit rate to be stable and at a good rate. So there's this kind of Goldilocks zone. Like we used to whine about Town Hall 14 being too easy, which is dumb at the time. Because Town Hall 14 really went like if you look back, like I made that chart. Like if you look back, the hit rate for Town Hall 14 wasn't really all that different from the hit rate on the back half of 13. It was, so us talking about it being too easy, it was pretty influenced by higher esports hit rates. But I don't know, like
definitely. And at that point, people were still having to use attacks like Lalo and whatnot. Yeah, it did still. While it was, I guess, easier, it still took skill. It just doesn't anymore. So yeah.
Like the Town Hall 14 hit rates were like 20 in the like 20%. If you're looking across all champs, I don't know. Like I don't want to get into my whole little chart post rant. But I know. Like I think
nerd off.
Like getting the hit rate, the overall average hit rate for Town Hall 17s should be probably somewhere 30-40% higher than Town Hall 14 was, lower than Town Hall 16 is. Obviously higher than Town Hall 15. But then also, like, more so than just, that as the target average. I want it to be, like, stable. Just because 16 has been a wild ride. Like, looking at the hit rates, it, like, immediately jumped into, like, the 40s. And then it went as high as 80. And now it's back down. And it's too variable. It's too crazy. It needs to be... Like, I like balance changes and introducing new stuff. But it's been extremes all Town 17. And I hate it. So... All right, Sam, you're number one.
My number one's so similar to yours. It's just balance improvements. Just make the game easier. Oh my gosh. Make the game harder. And I know people are gonna whine and go, "Oh, it's just the top players that just make it hard." Whine, and it's still difficult for the casuals. But no, come on. Town 16 is far too easy, and I don't get a buzz from tripling anymore. I just get annoyed if I don't. Like, and it used to be the case where if I get a high percent 2-star, maybe at Town Hall 15, I'd still wish I tripled, but I wouldn't be like annoyed. I think, okay, plan just didn't quite come off this time. Now, if I don't get a triple, it's like, what am I doing? And that just needs to change. I want to get excited to be good again.
Yeah. All right, and then rounding this out, Spencer's number one was clan improvements, recruiting, new clan roles, clan war revamp. I don't know what he means by that. Clan games revamp. I can get on board with changing up clan games too.
Clan games is a bit boring.
But yeah, a lot of quality of life stuff would be good too. All right, well, we're running kind of long. I think it'll edit down fine, but then we'll go through some questions.
Questions.
Yeah, so if you want to add any questions too, again, if you guys joined us later, If you haven't seen it already in the chat, type question, the spell out the question mark, the word question, and then, dude, we gotta change that to like question mark ask. But
Question mark question just sounds like you're having a stroke.
yeah, and then you type your question, and then it logs it for us, so we can go back to. So I'm skimming these for stuff we haven't already kind of talked about, just in general. Zubaxer, what do you guys think Supercell will do to balance things out with the release of Supercell? I'm assuming he means Town Hall 17.
What? Sort out heroes, make them less strong.
Equipment not getting a new level, I think, will go a long way to that too.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
That's like an indirect nerf because things are going to get more hit points and more DPS. Equipment not getting a new level kind of will help, I assume. Anything you specifically think needs a nerf, Liam?
No, I think it's alright at the moment.
Any leaks on Town Hall 17? No. Like Town Hall stuff generally
it's
doesn't
gonna exist.
Like Town Hall stuff generally doesn't leak because that's like the way leaks kind of really work is like Supercell loads stuff in the game files pretty early, and people just can see that through the APK whatever computer dork language. I don't really understand it, but they just open the game files and can see. But with Town Hall updates, that doesn't happen. Is it still worth it to do all the supercharged defenses? Yes.
I would say no, except for collectors.
Yeah. Like we don't really know what's gonna last through the Town Hall 17 release, but and we don't really know when that is. So I would say, yeah. I mean,
unless you're like fully maxed and have nothing else to do.
I was gonna say you may as well if you've got resources to burn.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. I wouldn't
convert it to capital gold.
Yeah, I wouldn't be dropping builder potions on it or anything. But if you don't finish, you don't finish. Whatever.
I mean, I would prioritize upgrading anything else over supercharging because anything else is gonna stay. Supercharge is not. But apart from that,
are we getting more single player levels? Phoenix asked.
I don't know. Are we?
don't know at this point. I wouldn't imagine it.
When are we getting Ninja as a guest? Hopefully never.
Yeah, we've had Ninja on. I don't know, like 3 times.
Twice,
I'm sure
3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have Ninja on again. At some point. I like having Ninja on when there's like big cost reductions of stuff, or like giant overall balance changes. I know just because he's like he's the go-to guy. I get that information from anyway. Like, hey, how much total time came off Heroes or Town Hall 7, whatever. I like having Ninja on for that stuff. I don't think we have good talks when that happens. Do you guys think AQ and BK will go over level 100?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I assume we're getting level 100 with Town Hall 17.
That is insane. That is an insane amount of time to upgrade something. I'm just really thinking about it now. How have I upgraded a single hero, or well, 2 heroes, 95 times already? Just thinking about that makes me a bit nauseous.
All right. Storm says, can you tell us a little bit about Helsinki, who's going from the mods? Are you excited? I am going, and Cart is going, and that's it this year. Leave Tuesday. And yeah, excited.
Is no one else going off their own accord?
I think someone might be.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to I don't know. Like
You're
it's not like
people.
it's not the most secret thing in the world, but it's still maybe not cool to talk about people's personal plans. I don't know. But others are going.
Moving on.
Yeah, like Cart and I were invited, and others are going.
Officially.
Yeah, and we're gonna meet a bunch of people.
Yeah, Liam, are you going?
No.
No. Okay, we can chill. We'll chill.
Merging mods. Yeah, Liam, which mods would you want to merge? No, that's not what that question is
I would
about.
merge Rick and Lady Hawk.
I want to make it a machine, just a literal machine.
Yeah, just a 24/7 bot that runs all RQ as soon as
Who knows to do
posts,
anything?
import, delete or approve. Yeah, exactly. Make us obsolete. That's the goal.
Yeah, great.
All right, Phoenix has another one. Any reward system for Legend League trophy level or all the trophies we've collected for now? Stuart answered this, and he said no.
No.
He said, and then he was like, if we ever did, it would be cosmetic only, which it's
That's
yeah,
fair.
I think it'd be fine.
And yeah, I'd kind of support that. Any other good ones?
Godly had a question. Smaller changes for other game modes, balance changes for builder base. Like Asher is constantly advocating for builder base to improve all the time. So like if you have builder base ideas, join Asher's Discord, talk to him, and he will make sure that stuff gets relayed really well. Will Rick and Magic do the Wade Boggs challenge during the flight to Helsinki? That's a great idea. I have a 6-hour layover in Dallas, so I'm going to start the Wade Boggs challenge early.
What is the Wade Boggs challenge? Yeah, I feel out of the loop. What?
There's an urban legend. Most people know it from It's Always Sunny in Philly, an episode where he drank like 70 beers on a cross-country flight.
Jesus.
That would kill someone.
R.I.P. Wade Boggs.
Wait, did he actually die?
No.
Sorry, is this from a show or did this actually happen? From a show, yeah?
Yes to both. It did actually happen, and then it's been idolized inside the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
So it was initially like its origins are a real thing.
Yeah, Wade Boggs is a hell of a drinker and ball player.
I cannot believe he didn't die from 70 beers.
What? All right, last one. Big B said, will there be a live recording from Finland next week? No, but I am going to record stuff. I know I've said for the last 2 years that I'm going to record stuff in Finland, and I never actually got around to it, but I'm going to this time. So the idea is Trample's going, so that's cool. I get to meet Trample, but both of my last trips, I came home, like I got wined and dined. I got blown away seeing the new town hall. I was I was just super pumped, and I came home, and then we recorded RTC, and I'm like, dude, like this next town hall is gonna be great. And then town 15 obviously was town 15, and I did the same for 16, and I think 16 was better, but it did have a lot of long-term problems. So what my idea was I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit down with Trample after. I assume we're gonna see Town Hall 17, but I don't know for a fact. So, if we do see Town Hall 17, I'm gonna sit down with Trample for like half an hour and we're gonna talk about get all of our initial reactions down. Like predicting what it's gonna be like, and just talk through all that. And then I'm gonna sit on that recording for like 5 months. And then after we have a decent amount of time with Town Hall 17 under our belt, have Trample back on, talk about, okay, like what is Town Hall 17 really like? How's it shaped up? And then release that together with our initial reaction. And I think that'll be kind of cool.
Long-term plans here, Vic.
Yeah.
I know.
This is thought through.
It is.
Incredible.
And now we just have to find time to do it. Like, I'm going to feel like such a dork if we go and just don't have time to ever sit down for half an hour and record something. All right. And I think that's going to do it. Do you guys have any shout outs you want to go through?
My gosh, I actually think I do for once in my life.
I'd like to shout out Hawkeye for helping me with bot. Thank you so much. You're an amazing human being.
Yeah, it worked out really well. We're gonna have to tweak it, but it'll be a lot more useful when we have guests on for especially like community managers when there's a ton of questions. And maybe you can start using it for the Discord stages too. But it worked really well. Thanks, Liam, for that. You guys check out all the other Clash podcasts. There's a ton of them.
But mostly Hawkeye. He did all the work.
Well, Liam needs to learn how to take credit. Because Hawkeye's not here, dude, and I'm I would have been.
He was
he's
here.
in the chat. He is in the chat. He is listening to you right now. So
I know. Yeah, thank you very much, Hawkeye. That worked out really well.
Yeah. Well, it's not that.
All right.
Oh, Spencer just came online.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, you can join.
I know. I'll see a couple of you guys in a couple of days, man.
See y'all later.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
not
right,
us, but
take
yeah.
it easy. All right, ending this now. I gotta go do all my Halloween stuff with my kid before I ditch her and abandon her for Halloween.
Fun. I need to go do a maths assignment now, because it's due tomorrow. Oh, what? How hard is life?
Yeah, I know. Like college, huh? Dude, you gotta do 3 hours of class a day. I don't know how people manage.
It's 4 for me most days. So
plus walking.
Plus walking. Plus feeding myself.
Sleep.
Plus sleeping plus drinking a lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, dude, you have to do your own laundry. Like, I imagine.
yeah, I know.
Like, or are you like a bringing it home to mom kind of guy?
No, I don't have enough clothes. I haven't been home since I've been here. It's laundry is not hard though, so I don't know why. Yeah, it's not
Dude,
hard.
no, it's not hard. Like it was spring, right? And I was in the little laundry room in my dorm. And this guy, like, so we'd been there 7 months. And I'm like, I showed up and I didn't have any detergent. I'm like, hey man, can I borrow a cup of detergent? And he hands me this bottle, and it was like fabric softener. I'm like, no, dude, I need detergent. And he looks at me like I'm stupid. And then I'm like, dude, you know this isn't soap, right? And he's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, and he just like he hadn't actually been washing his clothes. He'd just been making them smell nice for like 7 months because he didn't understand the difference.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
In fairness, like everything's done for us. Like we don't have to deal with. We just literally you chuck it in the machine and you select the heat and you press start. I mean yeah, that's it. It's mostly all done for us.
Yeah, you don't need the laundry's not complicated. It's pretty simple.
It's not.
All right, yeah, we're definitely done.
Yeah, definitely overrunning.
I know. Yeah, I'll have to cut all that out. Like, I'll leave like they should put the little like he didn't wash his clothes for 7 months, and then do the intro, and then just never revisit that.
Right. Yeah.
Big B says one more question.
What?
Is
One
this
more
turning into
question.
the drunk
gosh.
freak episode?
All right, he's
God,
typing.
I couldn't even
drum roll,
imagine doing
drum
this.
roll.
If
I think he's trolling us.
smashed.
He's gonna be like, please wait, we'll wait, and then there's be nothing.
Yeah, we are getting done right now.
Big B's got to
Embarrassingly.
come. I had a long layover. Like Big B's he's gonna come visit me. He's gonna buy a ticket.
Well,
He's gonna come hang out, get drunk in the
Come on,
airport.
Senator Big B.
Come drink in the airport with me, and then cancel your ticket and go home. If you're cool, that's what you do. I mean, dude, calling sick, dude. How many times in your lifetime am I gonna be free for 6 hours to drink with you in your hometown?
wait, who are you talking to right now?
Big B.
Big B
In-
said
in-
if I
okay.
was
he's in the
working
chat.
all day
Yeah,
Tuesday,
he's in the
I
chat.
would have.
Yeah. Sorry, I was
Remember,
just.
Rick, people can't
I'm
read the
losing my
chat
mind.
on the podcast.
Well, no, dude, this is not surviving into the podcast.
I do read chat
Yeah.
actually. I am a chat reader. I just was losing my mind then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before we disconnect, give me a goodbye so it cuts cleaner. But yeah, none of this is surviving
Oh,
unless Big B's question is awesome.
yeah. He's cooking. He's
Step it
cooking.
up, Big
Let him
B.
cook.
It's all on you now.
He's just absolutely not saying anything.
Well, go on. You have one, but what is it?
You guys are, if he is trolling, you guys are definitely falling for it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know.
I have I'm
To be fair,
saying 90% he is
Nah,
showing.
nah. We're not ending this slide. We're ending this. We're ending this. Kill it. Kill it with fire.
Alright,
Kill it
we're
with
done.
fire.
Bye, guys.
Bye. See you guys.
We'll see you in
Good
2 weeks.
talk.
Bye.
Yeah. Au revoir.